Lawrence Pintak is the founding dean of the Edward R. Murrow College of Communication at Washington State University. He's also on the Middle East panel for the Freedom House Freedom of the Press reports. He joins us now from Washington State, Pullman there in Washington State. Welcome to the program. Now, why do you think these journalists are still being detained in Egypt? Abdullah al-Shami of Al Jazeera Arabic has been held since August and hasn't been charged with anything.
Well, they're suffering from two things. One is certainly the Egyptian regime's overall crackdown on free media, but they're also pawns in a regional power struggle between Qatar and Egypt.
Now, do you think the media pressure, these ongoing hunger strikes by Abdullah al-Shami and other prisoners being held there in Egypt are having any effect whatsoever on the Egyptian government?
No, unfortunately not. As the foreign minister referred to in that previous piece, there is strong tension between Qatar and Egypt. The Egyptian regime sees Qatar as having backed the Brotherhood and by definition have seen Al Jazeera Arabic as having backed the Brotherhood. And as a result, they're a pawn. No level of hunger strikes or other kinds of protests are going to have an effect on what is at heart a regional political issue.
So are you optimistic at all then that the journalists will be freed at some point?
Well, I think they'll be freed at some point, but I think this is going to be a diplomatic dance between the government of Qatar and the government of Egypt. And gestures by Qatar to show that now they're stepping back from that support for the Brotherhood, and gestures that trickle down onto Al Jazeera Arabic's coverage, that will begin to have an effect. The fact that Qatar is now launching a rival Arabic language channel, a rival to Jazeera, that is said to be less pro-Muslim Brotherhood, is certainly a sign that maybe that dance is continuing.
Do you think any other governments could be doing more to try and get them released?
Well, I think you have to put this in the context of what's going on inside Egypt. Yeah. I mean, we have trials at which hundreds of people are being sentenced to death on flimsy, to say the least, circumstances. And so if you look at the overall situation in Egypt, they are a relative drop in the bucket in terms of bad things that are going on there and things that other governments and other independent organizations need to be worried about and need to be lobbying about. Certainly, as a journalist, as the head of a journalism program, I want to see them freed. But I think we have to be realistic that they are just one piece of an overall pretty dismal picture of what's going on inside Egypt.
Lawrence, thank you very much indeed for your thoughts on this.